Good morning, dear students. Yesterday we have seen variation of molar conductivity with concentration for strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. We have seen there that if solution is diluted, then value of molar conductivity increases. At zero concentration or at infinite dilution, we obtain the maximum value for molar conductivity. That value is called limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Now today we will talk about limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolytes. See, yesterday we have seen in the graph which was plotted between molar conductivity and square root of concentration. There we have seen that for strong electrolytes, the limiting molar conductivity can be calculated by extrapolation of the graph because graph was linear, straight. But by the help of graph, it is not possible to calculate the limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolytes as the graph runs parallel to y-axis. So how to calculate limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolytes? For this, we can use Collows law. Clear? Now, according to Collows law, at infinite dilution, each and every ion makes a definite contribution or maximum contribution towards conductivity. Suppose the H plus ion obtained from HCl or the H plus ion obtained from H2SO4 or the H plus ion obtained from HNO3, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid or nitric acid. If we go for infinite dilution for HCl, if we go for infinite dilution for H2SO4 or if we go for infinite dilution for HNO3, in all the three cases H plus ion will be there. At infinite dilution, the contribution made by H plus ion towards molar conductivity in HCl will be equal to the molar conductivity in H2SO4 will be equal to the molar conductivity in H2SO4. So how it can be stated? It can be stated as, it states that at infinite dilution, when the dissociation of electrolyte is complete, each ion makes a definite contribution towards the molar conductivity of electrolyte irrespective of nature of other ion with which it is associated. Or molar conductivity at infinite dilution is the sum of contribution from its individual ions. Remember, at infinite dilution, weak electrolytes undergo 100% dissociation or ionization. Or we can say, at infinite dilution, weak electrolytes start behaving as strong electrolytes. So we obtain maximum concentration of the ions. So how we represent limiting molar conductivity? Limiting molar conductivity for any electrolytes is equals to number of cations formed per formula unit into limiting ionic conductivity. This is the maximum conductivity exhibited by cation. which is called limiting ionic conductivity for cation, plus number of anions formed per formula unit into limiting ionic conductivity for anion. When all these values are added, we get the limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So here, mu plus and mu minus are the number of moles of ions formed per formula unit, and this is lambda plus infinity plus lambda minus infinity are limiting ionic conductivity of cation and anion respectively. If we want to write for NaCl, limiting molar conductivity for NaCl can be written as NaCl forms 1 Na plus and 1 Cl minus per formula unit. So it will be equals to limiting ionic conductivity of Na plus plus limiting ionic conductivity of Cl minus. For BaCl2, per formula unit we obtain 1 ion of Ba plus 2 and 2 ions of Cl minus is equals to limiting ionic conductivity of Ba plus 2 plus 2 times the limiting ionic conductivity of Cl minus. Remember, when the condition is not infinity, in that case it is simply written as molar conductivity is equals to number of cations per formula unit into ionic conductivity. This value is not the maximum value, but when we talk about zero concentration or infinite dilution, then this value becomes maximum. So this is the maximum value that we can have for any cation. This is the maximum value that we can have for any anion. And remember, these values cannot be changed for a particular ion. Now, application. How to calculate limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte? Suppose we want to calculate limiting molar conductivity for acetic acid, a weak electrolyte. Contributions will be from acetate ion and H plus ion. We cannot use that plot between molar conductivity and under root of concentration for getting the value of limiting molar conductivity for acetic acid. So what we can do in this case? In this case, we will use the values of limiting molar conductivity for strong electrolytes. So how we can use? We can write here limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid equals to limiting molar conductivity of sodium acetate plus limiting molar conductivity of HCl minus limiting molar conductivity of NaCl. Here the contribution is made by acetate and Na plus. Here the contribution is made by H plus and Cl minus, and here the contribution is made by Na plus and Cl minus. What we want? We want the contribution from acetate and H plus. We don't want the contribution from Na plus and Cl minus. That's why we have chosen sodium acetate, HCl and NaCl. So on rearrangement, contribution made by Na plus will cancel out the contribution made by Na plus. Contribution made by Cl minus will cancel out contribution made by Cl minus, leaving behind contribution made by acetate plus contribution made by H plus. So in this manner, we will calculate the limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte. Be careful while choosing the strong electrolytes. Then calculation of alpha. By the help of this law, we can also calculate value of alpha. How to calculate? Alpha will be equals to molar conductivity at concentration C divided by limiting molar conductivity. Now what is alpha? We know it very well. The fraction of moles which undergoes ionization is called alpha, degree of dissociation. At infinity, value of alpha is 1 for weak electrolytes also. But at a proper concentration, there will be some value of alpha less than 1. So here we are not obtaining maximum number of ions. Here the molar conductivity is due to the ions present. And here the compound undergoes complete ionization. So again we will obtain the fraction of moles which undergoes ionization. So in this manner we can calculate the value of alpha. That's all in this chapter. Thank you.